Our XRP trade idea has played out beautifully, testing our lower trend line here, getting the breakout of our parallel channel and hitting the take profit area. Even if you were not in this trade or you were in the trade and were unable to take profit, we did drop all the way back down to entry and rally all the way back up to take profit. It has been fantastic to see so many gains being made, even though a lot of the comments in the previous XRP video update were incredibly negative. So it's great to see that those negative haters were wrong, and in this particular trade instance, we were right. Let's roll the intro and get right down into it. Okay guys, today we are going to be giving you another update on XRP. So here we have XRP paired up with USDT on the 4-hour Binance chart. And yeah, as I was kind of saying in that intro, our trade idea here has kind of played out with the test of the trend line and basically getting the breakout on our parallel channel. The take profit was in this slightly higher range, and we still have the potential to push up a little bit more. We were talking about 60 to 65.84 cent. We'll talk a little bit more about that in a second. But this risk reward ratio was 4.82, which basically meant for every $1 of risk, you would earn $4.82. With leverage, that would have been multiplied quite substantially. And as I often say, guys, if I am to be leverage-based trading, I'm going to be trading on BitGet. BitGet is my go-to platform when it comes to leverage-based trades. There is an affiliate link for BitGet in the description down below, and if you do use that link, you are eligible for up to $30,000 of rewards depending on how much you deposit and trade on the platform. There are terms and conditions that are associated with that, so do make sure you follow those on the website through the link in the description below. For example, there are some countries that are not eligible for any bonuses or rewards such as the $30,000, but more details can be found on the website. Personally, I find BitGet is a really easy to use platform that basically allows you as a beginner to start to learn how to trade very, very efficiently. Lots of features, so why not go ahead and check it out if you haven't done so already. Let's jump back down into the charts. What I'm going to do is I'm going to remove this now because we don't need it. We've taken profit. And here we can kind of see that we tested this higher range after this breakout to the upside. Let's go ahead and zoom out and take a look at what's going on here, right? So on this 4-hour time frame, we can see that this was a previous area of consolidation that turned into resistance right here. This break to the upside has tested this range of previous support and has confirmed that it is resistance. So what the bulls are going to be trying to do here is to try to rally up, push the price up higher. But ultimately, what they really need to do if they want to get more bullish on XRP is get a closed position above this range, basically indicating to us that this range has no more sellers in it. Okay, so at the moment, when we see price rejecting the way that it has done, this is an indication that there's a lot of selling volume here, okay, and therefore price gets rejected. Okay, it's the same for when there is support in a range, like down here, for example, on this trend line, there's a lot of buying pressure. Okay, so for now, we have to kind of consider that there's a lot of selling here and a lot of buying down here. Okay, so what we want to do is see us kind of test this range out, and if we get another rejection, we're probably going to want to go short on XRP. Stop loss above here because there's unlikely to actually rally up past this area of selling pressure, and take profit down a little bit lower. Now, as I've often said on the channel and in the Discord and to the members, I want to make sure that the risk reward ratio is a minimum of 1.5 if I am to be trading this. And this here, as just a quick example of drawing on here, is only a 1.48. It means it's not a good idea to be trading something like this because it doesn't really give us a lot of profit. The risk is quite high and it wouldn't make a lot of sense. Basically, the risk reward ratio is just too low. I'd want a minimum of 1.5. Multiply that with leverage and we're in an okay position. Even 1.5 is not ideal. We want to be making sure that we have tight stop losses and nice big areas for profit. Okay, so in this particular trade, it probably isn't a good idea, which means we're probably going to have to wait until much later on to see whether or not we can get a much better entry rather than trying to enter somewhere on the low side of this box. Now, as I go ahead and take this trend line out a little bit deeper or a little bit further out here, you can see that we probably do need to adjust things ever so slightly to be more in line with our wicks here. Now, this is just a minor adjustment to the trend line. The trend line is still there. It's just a case of actually these wicks, I do take them into consideration. Not everyone does, because sometimes people only look at the close positions. And if you take the close positions, then you still have this area here for support with the occasional wick below it. Okay, so it really is just a personal preference. Personally, I prefer to use the wicks, but I know a lot of people will just use the bodies, and both are perfectly fine, to be honest with you. As long as the wicks aren't miles out. These ones here are actually a pretty good example of something that I would be okay with. If a wick was all the way down here, then I would not use the bodies, I would use the wicks, because the price went to that particular area. So our trend line's actually in a reasonably good position, right? There's nothing too much to it there. Now, if we take our fib scales and we actually start measuring the distances here, considering our retracement as well, we could see ourselves pushing up more towards 62.63 to 65.29, and this would actually allow us then to have a much better risk reward ratio by shorting the market down to our trend line again, with more towards 1.96 on the R and R. So the risk reward ratio becomes a little bit more palatable, I guess, if we can actually rally up into this higher range. So taking a look at our expectations here, it will be that we actually push up more towards this area of 62.63 to 65.29. That will be approximately there. Let me just remove our Fibonacci extensions off. And so you can see this little yellow box area. Again, if I move this across here, you can find that this was an upper area of resistance as well here, here, right? So although we're testing this low range right now, and we've kind of pushed back, we can probably rally up into this higher range here where we'll get rejected as well, which will confirm our rejection and lots of selling pressure. And so again, could be a great place to be thinking about our short positions on the market with really tight stop losses and really great take profits. Again, depending on how high this goes for an entry position, we could be looking above 7 points on the risk reward ratio, which would be fantastic. Okay, so lots of huge opportunities in Bitcoin, or in Bitcoin's future, which I think is leading XRP in this direction. So for the most part, I think XRP is in a really nice sweet spot. We have the potential here for a 3-wave pattern to play out like this. Takes us up into that slightly higher range, and basically, yeah, really could take it from there. Now, we can also kind of see here that there are some interesting things going on with our candlestick positions here. Now, I want to kind of see whether or not we have the potential for any kind of inverted head and shoulder pattern. I don't think we really do. Nothing that's neat anyway. So yeah, I'm not sure I want to kind of entertain the idea of an inverted head and shoulders. I don't see any other reasons and rationale for this. Let's go ahead and just take this down here. So here we can see clean breakout, a retest, no closures below this level here. So I think that trend line is actually in a reasonable position as well. So I'm going to remove the parallel channel. So this could be another interesting kind of breakout situation. Now, if I bring the stochastics up, we can see that we're actually in a reasonable position on the 4 hour. So that's looking okay. Not so much on the 1 hour though, or the 8 or the daily. They are a little bit maybe more concerning. If we take that off, throw the divergence indicator in here, you can see bullish divergence did flag up. That happened to be right here on this test of the trend line, and nothing else is shown at the moment. Still showing a little bit more bullish momentum to the upside on the 4 hour RSI. So that's looking okay. Volume profiles are probably going to be, yeah, just spiking up a little bit here as we have this moment of volatility. Otherwise, that's okay. So I think for the most part, we're actually in a reasonable position. I still see us testing out that slightly higher range, pushing us maybe towards that 62 cent. From here, potentially looking for a short position. I probably wouldn't enter into a long so much right now. I think that moment is probably gone. So kind of sit tight, wait for the better entries. And then I think we're going to be in some pretty decent positions for some good profits to be made on XRP. So guys, that's going to wrap up today's video, but why don't you check out this video right here where JB is going through what he thinks of the Plutus card, where you can earn some really juicy bonuses and perks for basically spending your crypto via their debit card. Why not check it out? Linked just here.